and welcome to another pen video from me, Penultimate Dave. So today we have yet another currently inked video, and these are, I have 20 pens here currently inked up. Now, I've actually gone through a little bit of a cleaning exercise over the last month, so the amount of pens I do have inked up now are literally down to 20 pens. Now, I say 20 pens. 20 pens is a lot of pens, but for me, it's not a lot that are inked up. So I think I'd like to try and get lower than 20 pens inked up at any one time, but for me that becomes very, very difficult, even when I go to clean out a whole load of pens. So let's just go through today what I have currently inked up. So from left to right, I have this lovely Visconti Medici Il Magnifico, and this is a lovely, lovely pen in my collection. It's made of solid silver, 925 AG925 silver, and it's also made with marble. So this is one very, very heavy pen. So this pen comes in around about 70 grams. But it is a lovely, lovely pen, and in terms of how it is in the hand, it's for me quite long. It's about the right size. I know some people like smaller pens, but for me, I really do like this length, and I like the weight as well. So currently this is inked up with Visconti Burgundy. And I do like this. Now, this pen came, I thought initially with a pretty good writing experience from Visconti. However, since I've been using it, I've noticed when I've been using other pens that it has wrote a little dry. So I have flossed the tines a little bit. I've opened them up and I've made it write a little bit wetter, almost to the point where I really like it. I might go a little bit further, but at the moment, I'm just going to see how it goes. So that's the Visconti Medici. Now we have this massive one, which is the Visconti Speakeasy. And this is a mammoth of a pen. You've probably seen my video on this, my video review already. If you haven't, go check it out, because this is a massive pen, and I'll show you in the hands. It really is like a marker pen in terms of like the overall thickness and diameter, and also a little bit in terms of length as well. This pen cannot be posted. Now this is currently inked up with Mont Blanc Corn Poppy Red, and this ink, this is a really, really wet writer. It's a medium nib in this, just like the Visconti Medici Il Magnifico. But this is a very wet writer. So I was trying to get the Il Magnifico to write a little bit more wetter, to the point of the Speakeasy. Now the Speakeasy is quite... It's not a heavy, massively heavy pen. It's not as heavy as the Il Magnifico, but it is a little bit back weighted, and I'll show you why. Because, and I've shown this on at least one or more videos, it has a alcohol compartment here, so it really, really is back weighted because of all this metal here. But that doesn't bother me, and I don't fill it with alcohol. But you can see here the material is absolutely stunning on this, and there is at least one, if not two, other pens made in this material. But this was a Speakeasy, and I really wanted to pick that one up, and I'm glad I did. The third pen is the Visconti Luxor, and this is a Maquis pen. So it's actually a red ebonite, and that's what the pen is made out of. And then they apply some lacquer and Maquis to it, and then lacquer on top. So there's 6 layers of lacquer, as I understand it. But these Maquis, it's so amazing, the the inscriptions here, and you have the Ra symbol here in gold, and that is real gold. So this is just a stunning pen, and this pen I have in a medium again. Now, I do like mediums. I have more medium nibs than any other nib in my collection. However, more lately I do like more broads, double broads, triple broads, and stubs. But sometimes you can only get a pen in a medium nib, and this was the case with this pen, and also the Speakeasy and the Visconti Medici Il Magnifico as well. So all of those are medium nibs, but this pen is really nice. Now, I have this inked up with Pilot Iroshizuku Konpeki, and this is a really, really lovely writer, and I do love this pen. It is a really, really lovely pen. So I'm glad that I managed to pick that one up when I did. Now we have a slightly cheaper pen, but this is the Visconti Opera Silver Dust, and this is a 28 edition pen. Now there are two versions of this. There's one with the CR18 or nib, which is a chromium 18, aka steel, or there's the 23 carat palladium nib. I got the 23 carat palladium nib, and I'm really, really glad that I did. I have a number of chromium 18 nibs, and they're okay for a steel nib, but there's nothing special in the writing experience. So I managed to pick this one up in a 1.3mm stub, and I really do like this. It's similar in size to the London Fog. It's a little bit lighter and a little bit thinner, but you can see here the swirls of silver there, hence the name Silver Dust, and it really, really is a stunning pen. Now, I have the next pen is my London Fog, the Homo Sapiens London Fog, and this pen is pretty much inked up 95% of the time. I got this originally with a fine nib, and I really love the fine nib. However, because I've been writing more with stub nibs lately, I swapped it out for a very bouncy 1.3mm stub. So I'll show you that here now. Right, you'll be able to see this here. And that is a lovely, lovely stub. So I really, really do like this. Although I really loved the fine nib on this, I kind of love this stub even more. That said, I will probably put the fine nib back on this pen at some point in the near future, because I want to really sort of go back to my roots, and I've been running with a few fine nibs recently and medium nibs, and I actually realised that I miss them. So because of that, I decided that I will probably put the fine nib back into this pen, or maybe I'll put it into another pen. I'm not so sure. I kind of want to put it back into this pen, but I don't want to lose the stub. But so this holds around 2.5 to 3 milliliters of ink, and unless you're using a single pen for writing continuously, it's very difficult to try and empty that pen out. Now, I do empty this out. Now, this is actually inked up to about here, so it's inked about 3/4, and I have re-inked it recently, because it is a pen that I do write with a lot. So I've been writing a lot of letters recently, and at least one page in an A4 letter is with the London Fog. There's a couple of other pens that I've also been writing with recently in letters as well to my pen pals, and these are the Pilot Custom 823s. Now, I inked this up, and this holds around 2.5 milliliters, about 2 to 2.5 milliliters of ink. So this Pilot Custom 823 is special because all of my 823s have what is called an FA nib. And these are hard to obtain. You can only get them from Japan. So you have to order them from Japan. Now, you will get a lot of pooling on this ink. It's a gold nib, but you will find that it's a really nice writer. If you like an extra fine nib without any pressure, this is really good. If you want to flex it, and that's really what the FA nibs are for, to give you line variation, then you can flex it up easily to a broad, if not a double broad. So these are really nice. So I'm trying to improve my flex writing, so I've been doing quite a bit of flex writing recently, and in the last month I went through an entire barrel of 2.5 to 3 milliliters of this, and I re-inked it a week ago, and you can see, like, already here, like, this is how much ink I've got left in it, and I think I'm going to re-ink it again. So this has got Pilot Iroshizuku Satsuji, which is a pink ink in, and that's why you could see this lovely pink sheen. And this is the clear version of the 823. And then I have a black version. I also have an amber version, which isn't inked, but the black version here has Pilot Iroshizuku Konpeki in it. And in terms of ink level, I think it's around about here. It's hard to see under this light because it's a black pen, but I've been using this one a lot as well, so it may actually be. It's very, very difficult, very, very difficult to see, unfortunately. And there you go. I can see the piston here, so it's inked up to about here, I would say. So this is a very, very nice pen. I kind of actually like the clear version. I think if I rebought my 823 FAs, I think I'd probably go for them all in clear. But that's just me. Like, I know a lot of people like the amber, and I've got the amber version, and you can see more of the ink in the amber, but not as much in the clear, as you would in the clear, because you will see a lot more ink there. But the black one, I don't know. It's a smoke black, but it's I'm not into black pens, or plain black pens, I should say. So I don't know. I probably wouldn't get the smoke black again, and I'd probably, like, if I had the chance, I'd probably sell that and get a clear maybe. But I don't know. At the moment, I'm going to keep hold of it anyway, until maybe a good deal comes up, in which case I might then swap it out. And then we have this pen, this behemoth, which is the Armando Simoni Club Bologna Extra Arco. And this is a lovely, lovely pen. And I don't know, I'm split between this, because I love the pen, I love the look of it, but the writing experience wasn't as good as I thought it would be. It comes with a fine nib, and I'm not that into fine nibs. Like, this nib writes perfectly fine for a fine nib, or for any nib. Like, there are no problems. There's no hard starts. It's very smooth writer. Has a little bit of pencil feedback, I would say. Has a little bit of line variation to it, but not a huge amount. And they do say with these Magic Flex nibs that you shouldn't try to flex them. But for me, like, it's a very heavy pen, and the nib is massive. So the nib is a King of Pen size, or a Pelican M1000, or a Mont Blanc 149 size. So it's a massive, massive nib. But I just don't write enough with it. And I have other friends that have got this as well, and they say the same thing, that it's a lovely pen, they love it, but the writing experience just isn't what they expected it to be. And there's nothing wrong with it. It's just that there are other pens for that price that write a lot better. For me, I'd much prefer if it had a medium or a broad nib on, and not a fine nib. But I don't know, like, so I've been writing with this a lot more recently, and I started to like it more. And I've got to make the decision soon on whether or not to go for the Bologna in the Arco Verde, and I'm still on the fence for that one. I've had a number of offers, and I don't know, like I would like to get it, because then I'd have two Bolognas, but at the moment I don't write enough with a Bologna. And I don't like pens that just sit there doing nothing in my pen drawer. So I do prefer if I can at least write with them maybe once every month or couple of months. So this for me, it's a nice pen, really nice pen. More recently I picked up, as you may have seen my unboxing videos, the Omas My Lord and the Omas Paragon. And these are really lovely pens. So this My Lord comes with a medium nib, or Milord, I should say. It comes with a medium nib, but this medium nib is amazing. It is a super wet nib, and it writes very broad, almost to the point it writes more broader than my broad Omas nib in the Paragon. So this really writes more like a double broad or a triple broad, I would say. It really is a lovely pen, and I always have problems getting this lined up. There you go. So I love this pen. I think this is what has spoiled it for me, because if I could get another pen like this in a Verde that wrote as well as this, then I'd probably go for that instead of the Bologna. Now, I think that you don't get the Milords in the Arco Verde, at least not from what I've seen. Like, they tend to be more in the Paragons, and the Paragon is here, so it's a little bit thinner and a little bit shorter. Now, I think I would prefer the Milord or My Lord, but this is the broad version of the Paragon, and this writes like a broad. It's a wet broad as well, so it writes very wet, and I really do love this pen. So for me, this is a great pen. I do find it a little bit light, but that's just the overall sort of the pen. Like, if I had the choice, I would go for the My Lord or My Lord. So, but for me, this is really nice. I do love it. So, there you go, lines up a little bit better there. So, at the moment, this is why I'm starting to think: do I want another Bologna? Like, the Bologna is a lovely pen here. Lovely size, lovely weight. I like long pens, I like heavy pens. It may be a little bit too oversized of a pen for me. I'm starting to find that with the Speakeasy as well, that maybe getting to that size, that weight pen, it's getting a bit much. But that said, I do love the Speakeasy, and I think if the nib wrote more of a medium nib on the Bologna, or had a lot more flex to it, then I would probably go for one. So I don't know. Like, we'll just have to watch this space. So on to the final 10 pens, or the next 10 pens. So I have, and I've had this inked up since I got it. This is a Pelican M600 turquoise white. Now, for me, this is a little bit too small. I can post it, and posting it makes it a little bit better. And to be honest, I actually prefer doing that with this pen. I do find the section is a little bit on the narrow, thin side, and small in terms of length. I tend to be more on the threads here, but the threads, it doesn't bother me. And the nib is a little bit smaller as well. So ideally, I would have preferred if Pelican had made this in an M800, and they may do it eventually. But I do like the pen, and I do like it. So I have it inked up with Lamy turquoise, and I find that's a lovely colour ink. So I have had that inked up since I bought that one. Now, I keep thinking about getting the white stripe version of the M600, and although I'd love it, I just don't know what ink to put in it. And that's stopping me from buying it. And I know that sounds absolutely ludicrous, but I'm getting to the point where I just think, well, I prefer to match colours of ink to pens as much as possible. And there isn't a white ink, or you can't really use a white ink. So I don't know what ink I'd put in the white stripe version. Maybe I could put a grey in there, or maybe I could just put any colour ink in there. I don't know. But I'd also worry about the stainability more, because it does seem to stain more with the white stripes from what I've seen. So now on to the next pen. So this is the M800 Ocean Swirl, and this is a really, really lovely pen. And you can see there how it glistens. It doesn't glisten all the way round, and I know that there's been a lot of controversy there, but this is a lovely pen for me. The only thing that I would say, and I can probably correct this, is that the nib, I'd rather have the top of the nib match up with that sort of shine there. But to be honest, when you're writing with it like this, you tend to actually see that shine more when you're writing. So I don't know, maybe Pelican did do it the right way. But I really do love this pen. It's a lovely pen. Now sometimes you won't get it to match up, so you do have to just try a few more times. There you go. Now I've got it to match up. The next one is the Pelican M800 Renaissance Brown. So this is inked up with Jehaban Lee de Tay. And I actually forgot to mention, but the M800 Ocean Swirl is inked up with Diamine Eau de Nil. So this is the M800 Renaissance Brown with Jehaban Lee de Tay, and this is a lovely pen. It's a cracked ice type effect. I really do like this. I do love that it's the same all the way round, and there aren't really like heavy dark areas like there is with the Ocean Swirl. And this is a lovely pen. I love the size of the M800s. Now, all of my M800s have broad nibs. Actually, even the M600 has a broad nib as well. So all of these have broad nibs on them. And this came originally with a medium nib, and I didn't like it, and I had it I swapped it out. So if anybody wants a medium nib, I've got one for sale. Just let me know. But that's for an M800. Then there's the M800 Vibrant Blue, and I like this because it's got some translucency there, where you can see the piston rod here, and you can see the ink. Now this is pretty much, I've emptied this one out over the last few days. You can see now, although technically it's not inked, it still has a little bit of ink left in it. So I do need to re-ink this up. And that I have inked up, I think it's just Lamy Blue. I'll have to check my notes on that one, but I think it's Lamy Blue. So I will probably re-ink that with that, or I don't know. My Omar, my lord, has got a sample of Franklin Christoph Spanish Blue in there. And I do like that, but I'm running out of that sample already. I'm just looking here. I do have some other blues. So I might put another blue in there. Maybe an Akamon blue. I have the Shocking Blue, and I have like the Cerulean Blue. I think the Cerulean Blue would actually be quite nice in that one. I also have the M800 Grand Plus, and again, like this was a pen that I picked up about 2 months ago, and this is a lovely pen. Again, it has a broad nib in it. It's an M800, but you can see there the patterns. It really is stunning. If I zoom in a little bit more, you'll see there. So this is a pen that I really do love. It has a broad nib, as I said, so I do love that. I love all the broad nibs on the Pelicans. And the one that started me off on the broad nib was this M800 Royal Gold Raden, and this is a Raden pen. It's got abalone shell stripes, and it is a really, really nice pen. And this was my first Pelican broad that I got, and I liked it so much that I decided on all new Pelicans that I would obtain or acquire, I would get them in a broad nib, because the mediums I wasn't that hammered with. And again, like, this is, for me, pretty much the right size pen. Like, the section could be maybe a little bit wider, like the Visconti Homo sapiens, perhaps. I find that to be the ideal diameter for a section. But the barrel size on that, I find this is pretty good. So I do like this, and if I can find it, I always lose. There you go. If I try to zoom in, you'll see there the signature of the artist that made this. But you can see here the Raden, how lovely that abalone shell looks. It's just stunning. So it's just a bit of dust there, but it's absolutely stunning. So this for me is one of those absolute grail pens for sure. When I bought it, I kind of regretted it for a little while, but I'm glad that I don't now, because it is so nice, and I don't regret that purchase one little bit. So the next pen is my beloved Classic Pens LB5, and it's a bittersweet one, because I picked up with the LM1 from Sarge, the one-man pen show, at the London Pen Show in October 2017, and I picked the two up, but there was also a white LB5 as well as this brown Kawasaki one, and because of the price or the cost of the two pens, I decided not to go with the white one, and I kind of regret that now. I wish I had picked up the white one, because these LB5s are very hard to obtain. So I really do love this one. So Sarge, if you get any more LB5s, I want to know about them, because I really do like the LB5s. I love the bounce to these sailor nibs. Now, these are way oversized pens, but I find the cigar shape and the way it tapers back, really at the front here, but also towards the back, I find this very comfortable to use, and I really, really do like it. The nib is so bouncy. So I have this currently inked up with Pilot Iroshizuku Sakushi, and which is I believe Horse's Tail. But as you can see here, this material is they call it fusion bonded acrylic, or diffusion bonded, I should say. But this is so lovely, and if I can pick up more LB5s, I will. But at the moment, I think that probably won't happen, but we'll see. And then I have 3 other pens inked up, and these are just TWSBI Diamond 580 ALs, and I typically have these inked up with shimmer inks. So this one is inked up with Lamy Blue Gold. So this is an ink that I have mixed. It's basically Lamy Blue with gold shimmer. And then I have Lamy Green with gold shimmer as well. So that's Lamy Green Gold, that I've called that. And then I have this one, which is Apache Sunset Noodlers with gold shimmer. And this is stunning. Absolutely stunning ink. And I need to write more with this, because every time I write with it, I think, oh my god, this looks gorgeous. I'm going to be making more sample bottles of this up. So those are my currently inked pens for this video. So as I said, there's 20 pens there. Yeah, so just counting those. So I'd like to get below 20, but I just simply cannot. I get to the point where I'll have 20 or 15 inked maybe, and then it's like, well, you know what? I'm getting low on a number of pens. I could re-ink those pens, but let's not re-ink them yet. I could clean them out, but let's not clean them out yet. But let's ink up another pen. And so that's typically what I do. So getting under 20 pens inked up is a real difficult problem for me. At some point, I need to just say, hey, look, let's just clean them all out. But at the moment, I just still can't do that. So anyway, this is the pens that I have inked up at the moment. I'm sure this will change again over the course of the next month, and you'll probably see that in the next pen video that I do for currently inked. So thanks for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next pen video. Bye bye.